Jorge Martin's 2025 MotoGP title defense was supposed to be the story of a champion stepping up with a new team and a fresh start. Instead, it's quickly become a cautionary tale, marked by injury setbacks, growing frustration, and a contract controversy that's now putting Aprilia's entire MotoGP project under strain. And now, even Aprilia is starting to acknowledge what Martin had warned them about from the beginning. The RSGP isn't living up to expectations. This situation has moved far beyond a simple transfer saga. It's become a pivotal moment in Martin's career, a critical test for Aprilia's long-term goals, and possibly a turning point for Honda's future. Since Qatar, Martin hasn't raced a single round. In his absence, Marco Bezzecchi has stepped up as Aprilia's lead rider, while Lorenzo Savadori has filled in, with limited results. Just recently, Martin made an important move towards his return. In Barcelona, he got back on two wheels for the first time since his injury, riding an RSV4 superbike. Back to the bike after 3 months, he posted on Instagram. While his message sounded positive, the medical update told a different story. MotoGP's medical chief, Dr. Angel Charti, noted that while most of Martin's rib fractures have improved, some haven't fully healed yet. He's confirmed to miss the upcoming German GP, but all attention now turns to Brno, scheduled from July 18th to 20th as the possible comeback round. Aprilia team manager Massimo Rivola is cautiously hopeful. Having one race before the break would be good, so mentally, physically, he gets rhythm, then can push, he explained. While Martin focuses on recovery, there's just as much chaos off the track. During the Dutch GP, his manager Albert Valera stirred up headlines by publicly claiming that Jorge Martin is free for 2026. Aprilia shot that down immediately, firmly stating that Martin is still under contract. What followed was a rare and blunt comment from Aprilia CEO Massimo Rivola. For sure, it's not a comfortable situation. For sure, we got him for good reasons, and I think he chose us for performance reasons. He went on to say, in the past, we saw riders unhappy about the company or the boss that fought for the world title for many years. That remark was a clear reference to past MotoGP dramas and a not-so-subtle reminder of how fragile these relationships can be. Jorge Lorenzo clinched the 2015 championship with Yamaha despite internal tension. Valentino Rossi claimed the 2003 title with Honda even while feeling like an outsider. But when Massimo Rivola referenced those moments, it didn't come across as inspiring. It felt more like damage control. Aprilia insists things with Jorge Martin can still be fixed, but Lorenzo doesn't share that optimism. Speaking on the Giro Vita podcast, the 5-time world champion warned that Aprilia risks holding on to a rider who doesn't feel comfortable within the team. He'll perform well, so the next contract looks good, but the atmosphere won't be healthy, Lorenzo said. His advice? Aprilia needs to create a positive environment for Martin right now, not later. Otherwise, he cautions, there may be no future for the partnership. What's striking is just how quickly things have unraveled. Martin hasn't even completed a full race for Aprilia yet, and the tension is already mutual. His repeated absence from paddock events, especially high-profile rounds in Italy and the Netherlands close to home, has only fueled speculation. Aprilia, however, believes they've got the legal edge. Their case is that Martin's exit clause, based on championship standings, doesn't apply because his injury kept him from scoring any points. They're confident that a court would reject the clause Martin's legal team is trying to use to break the 2026 agreement. Adding even more pressure, Dorna CEO Carmelo Ezpeleta has made it clear Martin can't sign with another team until the situation with Aprilia is officially resolved. That leaves two paths: win in court or pay a hefty fee. If Martin decides to walk, it won't come cheap. Rumours suggest Aprilia is demanding a massive compensation sum. One theory even suggests Honda could cover the cost, but subtract it from Martin's salary, making an exit potentially more expensive than staying. Ironically, Aprilia's recent on-track success is now being used to challenge Martin's case. Bezzecchi just delivered a double podium at Assen and won earlier at Silverstone. Meanwhile, Martin hasn't raced since April due to injury. From Aprilia's point of view, they've held up their end. So, what's the problem? This is where it gets technical and revealing. After months of avoiding the topic, Aprilia boss Massimo Rivola finally admitted what Martin had reportedly raised early on. The RSGP has had a flaw since the beginning of the season. Compared to what riders were used to, the bike is more demanding. It's a bit more physical, Rivola said. At Assen, it's a bit more aggressive. That makes it harder to reach 100% and repeat performance. As a result, the team is now working to make the bike smoother and easier to handle. Leading that change, Fabiano Sterlacini, the former Ducati figure who came over from KTM this year. Rivola credited him and his team for steering development in a better direction. And according to Aprilia, they believe they're finally on the right path. This is exactly what many insiders say Jorge Martin has been struggling with. The RSGP might be quick, but it's also brutal to manage over a full race distance. We saw signs of it back at the Qatar GP. Martin looked uncomfortable even before the crash happened. He had warned Aprilia early on, and now the team is publicly acknowledging that the bike needs serious changes at a core level. Considering Aprilia's clear advantage over Honda in 2025, a lot of fans are scratching their heads. Why is Martin so determined to leave? At Assen, Aprilia's top finisher Bezzecchi took second place. Honda's best, 12th. And yet Martin seems laser focused on becoming part of the RC213V rebuild. According to those close to the situation, this isn't just about raw pace. Honda is crafting a long-term project that could fit better with Martin's mindset, someone who thrives on development and leadership. Aprilia, by contrast, is showing signs of internal instability, and that could be a major factor in his thinking. But there's a complication. Honda's management reportedly isn't happy with how Martin's camp, especially his manager, Albert Valera, has handled things publicly. They're concerned that all this high-profile drama might hurt Martin's image and, in turn, his chances of landing a top-tier contract. Right now, the situation between Martin and Aprilia is tense, to say the least. Aprilia says they're ready to fight it out in court. Martin insists he's free to go, and with the Czech GP at Brno coming up, everything seems to be heading toward a major flashpoint, where ambition, injury recovery, and legal tensions all collide. Rivola put it plainly, it is his call to do something quite special. To stay here then, to get results, is a second step. Still, it's hard to imagine Martin sticking around even in the short term when the air is this thick with tension. From missed test days to media blow-ups, the damage may already be irreversible. Martin's situation is exposing a bigger issue within MotoGP. The lack of a unified contract resolution system like Formula One's Contract Recognition Board. As legal threats grow and salary talks get mixed with rider health and readiness, the MotoGP paddock is starting to feel more like a courtroom than a championship. Whether Martin makes his comeback in Brno or Austria, one question remains. Has this story already reached its conclusion? Because even if he lines up again in Aprilia's black and red, it's looking more and more like his heart and his future are somewhere else.